Hello everyone, my name is Sangeeta and welcome back to my channel. If you have been visiting my channel, you must have come across that recently I've been sharing like a lot of time-lapse videos of the artworks that I made. But I want you to take you back to August when I started a playlist called Video Creation for Beginners. And if you see this particular video, you would get to know that I plan to make like a mini series for so that it's easier for anybody to create videos. Not only something limited to mobiles where for platforms like Instagram it's like comparatively easy to do it via reels, um, but to have like more of a variety where you get to use tools which are browser based like Canva, which I will be covering today, and some more like DaVinci Resolve, which most likely I will be covering in the next or the next episode. So if you haven't gone through this playlist, I would urge you that you go through this, and also check out the other videos in the series, like breaking down the video creation process, so that it becomes easier for you to figure out how to create videos from scratch. Like if you're like a complete beginner. Let's head back to Canva and um, in this browser based tool, you do have an option to create video, but what I want to do is like to give you an overview about this whole tool, because apart from videos there are multiple other things that you can do, and this tool comes in pretty handy, and I have been using it from some years, both on a professional and personal level. So I have seen it evolve, with the different features and offerings that they have, and I have been a free as well as a paid user for this tool. So like you can see on the left hand side that it currently says personal and free. So currently I'm like on a free plan. I discontinued the paid thing for the time being, but still on a free thing you do have an access to a lot more templates, features, and learning stuff as well. So basically I will be covering the features in a glimpse and then heading to the video section. So if you aren't aware about Canva, so go ahead and like open this in your browser and create a free account. And what you are greeted with is like a variety of options that you would want to design. So design is like no longer limited to people with access to tools like Adobe Photoshop or something of similar nature and of higher end. So what Canva does is like it really gives you good design elements, and it makes it like super easier for you to create things from scratch. So so the going by the feature set, you can see here and like select from one of the drop downs which says features. um, you have an option to create multiple things, like you have access to different kinds of photos. You would find that they are available both as free as well as paid. There are access to icons, also print products, which has been like a recent addition. It wasn't available, I think 3-4 years back, or maybe before that when I was using this tool heavily. Um, Next, you what you want to do is like you want to create something. So um, if you haven't done anything with Canva and you have just started, you won't have anything in this recent designs section. So as you can see, like I have tried multiple different kinds of designs that I have created. In fact, the Haze ebook that I published was entirely created in Canva, plus the social media posts that I create for Instagram, or even for my blog, many of them are like processed here. So as and when you go on creating anything, like anything from these options, this recent designs thing will, will get populated. So before figuring out, like, what else is happening on the left hand side of the screen, like with all your design shared with you, and other stuffs, the easiest way is to, pick something from here. So as you can see, like you have multiple options. Like the video thing is what I will be covering largely, but you do have options like Facebook posts, Instagram posts, flyers. So anything that you can think of designing, which is required like on a daily basis, particularly if like you're a content creator or social media manager, you are bound to use this ones. But even if like you're going for creating something like a video, um, this tool comes in really handy. So what I'll do is, I'll just create something like not create, but I'll walk you through what elements do you get when you, create something, pick something from here. So I clicked onto Facebook post and it took me to a different screen. So this is pretty much the template that you will be getting, to design, for anything that you would want to design. So as you can see, like, you have like option of home that you can go back to the file options, and there are multiple options here that I would cover briefly. And as you can see here, like, it's an untitled design, which you can, check and save. Um, the other yeah so like, we can just write it like a Facebook design thing for the time being. And I'll cover, what exactly comes over here. So the first thing that you greet with is like the templates. So if you're not sure and you're like just creating a design for the very first time, it's usually helpful to, pick something from a template. So as you can see, like there are pro versions and there are free versions, available here. So if you are on an upgraded plan, the pro versions, like all of the pro versions become available to you. And but if you're like on a free thing, all the free elements are available. So I'll just go ahead and pick something, like randomly pick this one, like a Merry Christmas kind of thing, just to explain stuff. So once you click something, this design page becomes available to you, and all of these are like, editable elements. So the background is editable, the text elements um, are editable, accessible to you, and the same thing, like you can repeat, by adding a different page and dragging something else, or just duplicating and changing a bit. So this is what is pretty much templates is all about. Like these are like pre-created, as you can see, like this particular thing has a certain element of like it uses a certain typography, color, size, and all that. So these things are like, on the templates, these are like pre-designed to look good, and you can just select a particular template as per your need, and then just go ahead and edit it. um, yeah, so that's pretty much what the templates is. The other thing is elements, which is kind of uh, all the basic elements that you would need to, create a video. So for some time I would go back to this this playlist of which I have created here. And if you see this breaking down video creation process, I have elaborated about the different elements that go into the process of video creation. So these elements can be, the any graphic elements, like, vector images or photos, videos, audio, and, charts. This is just an extension of stuffs. So that's what I cover in that particular video. And this is exactly the thing that, comes under elements. So you can just select something, like I randomly selected something, and uh, drag it across the screen and place it wherever you want to, resize it, play with colors over here, change and like fix it to your requirements. So that is what all the elements are, and all of these editing, things that you can be edited, like photos can be edited, videos can be edited to a certain degree over here. So as and when you drag a particular element, the editing options are somewhat accessible, becomes accessible to you um accordingly. So yeah, this I won't further elaborate because it mostly goes on to the individual and how they end up using it. Uploads similarly is for you to upload certain things. So as you can see over here that all these images are something that I used for my social media. So some of these have gone into Instagram, some of these have been a part of my blog, and I also created a brand kit about which I wrote in my weekly newsletter, which you can also check in the description. I will add that. But one of the important and interesting features of this is like the record yourself stuff. So for now I have like disabled my webcam, but basically what it does is like once you press the record yourself, you will get a prompt of opening your webcam and basically recording your stuff and then processing it. So I think this is like a wonderful feature that they have recently added, and comes in handy for anyone with a laptop. Otherwise, you do have an option of uploading media, like it can be anything, like it can be a video or images. I mostly work with images, so this is also an option. Like if you have like clicked something separately or recorded something separately and then want to edit it over here, so this option is also available to you. The further thing is like text, which is, as the name says, like you have an access to all these predefined and pre-designed text as well. The same pro versus the free stuffs apply over here, but you do have an option of really good combination of fonts in the free space as well. So you are more than free to access it. So I just script the graphic design thing, is which is something that I really like from the free element. So uh, these are all like accessible elements. These are all grouped, which you can ungroup from here and then process each of these elements separately. So these elements are again accessible to you. So styles is again like a combination of fonts and the colors that go with those particular fonts. So you're also free to, apply, any of the predefined colors that come with it. As you can see, like I selected OVO and the whole thing changed. So there's a lot to, play around, and it will reduce your, um, load of thinking of what goes into a good design, because a lot the good design elements are like pre-defined and given to you as templates. So you have like the options to choose from colors, like define them, fonts. So you're more than free to do that. And if you go to a paid version, you also get to create your own palette. So when I created my brand kit, mostly like to create a signature, these are the colors I selected. So you do have an option to upload that as well on a paid version. Similarly, audio, as the name suggests, as the audio thing, which will largely be, which will only be used when you are creating a video and all that. So you can see the different genres that have been used over here, or the moods that you can click from here. Background, as you know, as the name suggests, it talks about the background of the screen. Um, so here also you get options of free and the paid stuffs, mostly texture elements, but you can also select an image from elements and set that as a background if you want to. logos and other stuffs. As you can see that this says Pro because I uploaded these elements when I had upgraded my plan. So if you upgrade your plan and if you are like running a bigger media house, or you just have the capacity to sorry, if you just have the capacity to use Canva for a paid version, you can check this. So these are the design elements that are going to remain same irrespective of what you're creating. So we saw an example of FB design where the size of the image that usually go into Facebook pages are like predefined, but these elements that you get to choose from remain the same. So I'll close this one and we'll head back to the home page of Canva, which is this. And now I will cover the video. So feel free to check the rest of the things because it's like really sorted in its way, pretty sorted and organized so that the things are like really accessible and easily accessible to you. So you can go to like For You already suggests a video, or you can go through here, or you can select the video thing. It's basically the same. So when I hover over it, it says create blank, so I'll just click that, and it opens a new window for me. And yeah, so in the previous one, like when we were making a social media stuff, we had an access to something like on a vertical line for creating multiple different elements. Videos are mostly like videos are something that are which have a timeline, so it makes sense to see them like on a on a horizontal scale. So as in when you click it, like few things remain the same. Like in this case, you have like a blank screen presented to you, and there are not much options other than the color spectrum and the 5 seconds edit time, which if you see over here is also says like 5 seconds for page one, but this is blank. So if I click this play thing, nothing plays for 5 seconds because this is blank basically. So um, what you can do next is like you can either go to templates, pick something and fix it over here, or you can create something from the scratch. So let us try something with a very basic video, like a birthday video for example. So as in when I clicked it, it automatically came over here. And as you remember, like that originally it was for 5 seconds, but since this video is of 7 seconds, the timeline, the length increased. Now now as you can see, like all these elements are accessible and editable. So let's say if you want to change the color of since this is a element, a vector element, uh, and the only thing that you can change with is and the things that you can change with it, like changing the size of this, or like the changing the color, you can do that, and just pick something as per your needs, and change it. Similarly, clicking on this element, which is like the main video element over here, um, this pretty much remains the same. But let's say if you wanted to keep the whole template and just replace the video, you can also do that. So you just have to select this element, press a backspace, or the delete, and that deletes the whole element, and replace that with a different video. So okay, one second. um okay, so okay, so that is not doable. uh, okay. Okay, so sorry for that error. replacing this particular section with a different video is not available as of now, or maybe like I'm missing some of the feature sets. But having said that, like you do have an option to create like something entirely different by uh, pressing the plus thing over here and plus thing over here, and you get a whole screen to work with. So yeah, so at least the minimum thing that you can do is edit these elements or edit these graphic elements, um, and see where that goes. So as you can the other thing that you can see over here is there are some lines that are coming over, and that's because I'm currently on the free version, and so it's asking, in order to remove watermarks I would have to upgrade. So that's something that you need to take care of. So yeah, so um, coming to the features of like what all can you do over here. So as we saw, like to increase the length of the video, we can keep on pressing the plus thing, and it keeps on adding this 5 seconds video, 5 seconds video length by default. So but you do have an option to increase or decrease that, because if we go to the first video, we can actually play with the length of this whole thing. So it was initially of like 7.6 seconds. So let's say if you want it for 4 seconds, so you also have an option to tweak that. So this is a feature of Canva for editing your videos, like when it comes to the defining the length of it. Similarly, let's say we want to add something else, uh, maybe like the skincare routine essentials. I've just picked it randomly to sorry, to show the different editing options, other editing options that you have. So remember, like that this bigger plus is the add page, which increases the overall length of the video. But if you want to add more transitions and all those kind of things, this is the plus thing that you need to do. So if you do that, you have a plus page kind of thing, plus you have an add transition option. So for now, there are like for the time being, I have just like access to these three, with defining where the direction or how the transition should take place. But if you are on a paid version, there are like more options to it, which you can use. So now that we have applied our transition, we can head back to we can put our pointer to the first or the starting point and then play the whole thing. So you saw, like the how the whole transition was basically applied while we moved from one page to another. So this is pretty much pretty much the access of video creation that you will have for this particular tool. So you can keep on adding pages, and you can select from these templates and apply transitions and all that. But you should not be limiting yourselves to just templates as well, because this thing, which is like a page which is by default given to you for 5 seconds, you also have an option to create a video from scratch. Like for example, let's say I want to have this background image. So I can add this as a background element, and then probably I want to add this image here as well, resize it, keep it over here. So so this all these changes are taking place in this particular page, which is page 3. But since these there is no movement here per se, we do not get to see much, other than the basic element of rise that has been by default added. So you can also change that, like you can just select the image over here and select animate, and let's say I'm rise was the default one. I keep it breathe. I'll just increase the size furthermore. Yeah. So if we head over here and then we play it, we can see that little animation which runs for 5 seconds, and if we want to reduce the length of that, we can also do that. So um, uh, yeah, so basically it just does that. Yeah, so the point of showing this was that you need not like depend entirely on the templates. You can create your own certain video of a certain length that uh, that you can drag and drop from the elements and the options that are given to you from the left hand side of the screen. So if you remember the starting of this video, there was a intro which where I talk about my products and all that. So that was also created here. So I'll just walk you through that. So this is how I created my intro video. So there are 4 pages. Like each of these pages have different have like a transition of their own. So I'll just play it here. So yeah, so as you saw, like initially you do not get to see this arrow, but I added it, to appear over here. Similarly, the other arrow appears over here. So the whole point of showing this intro video is that like you can create something like this from scratch, because this wasn't available in any of the template, and all the elements like buy me a coffee, media kits or claps club media kits is something that I uploaded separately and added them. And these things like the product listings, icons, these are the few things that were available to me via the elements option. The rest of the things, like it's entirely created from scratch and animated accordingly. So something of this nature is something that you can also create using Canva. And then you have the option to download and uh, save that as MP3. Like the you can save the entire 4 pages as MP3 video. It already suggests you that. So yeah, so one of the things that you will have to take care of the fact is that like uh, the video download elements are only available to you for paying. So what you can also do is like if you don't want to have like a subscription throughout the process of creating a video, you can just create your video, see it, keep it to the point you are actually happy with it, and then at one point you can just go ahead and download with Canva Pro, or just take the subscription for a month and then download all the elements. So it basically remains the same. um, so yeah, so that basically covers the entire video thing that I wanted to cover about Canva. So it's not something super difficult. It's easy, and with all the templates and the design elements that are already given to you, it makes the process like much easier and smoother. And if you do not want to go by the templates, you still have an option to record certain things, upload them, play with the media, animate them. So all these options are available to you as well. It's just that like you'll have to pay to download, get that stuff. But even for like 1 month subscription, if you have your stuffs ready, you can get your money's worth for one-time investment. Um, so yeah, so this is all that I wanted to cover, and this video will be available. It's going to be available in this video creation for beginners, the uh, playlist. So if you're like entirely creating something for the first time, like a video like this, I would suggest that you go through the process, like at least from the second episode of this playlist, and then head to Canva and just create things like even if like you're creating something like for Facebook or your own page, that is good enough to get started. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to cover for this time, and I'll see you next time, and maybe then I'll cover DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, bye for now.